Tempranillo is a mysterious grape. It goes so far back in Spanish culture that no one is quite sure where it originated. The word Tempranillo is derived from the Spanish word temprano, meaning early, a reference to Tempranillo's tendency to ripen earlier than other grapes. Tempranillo remained confined to Spain up until the 17th century, when Spanish conquistadors brought the grape to America. In 1905, Tempranillo came to California bearing the name Valdepeñas, where it was initially planted in the hot Central Valley and used for jug wine. It wasn't until the 1980s, when new vineyards were planted in more favorable locations, that the variety began to flourish and produce the exceptional wines reminiscent of its Spanish origins. Tempranillo is currently enjoying a renaissance in wine production worldwide. This surge began partly as a result of the efforts of a new wave of Spanish growers, who showed that it was possible to produce wines of great character and quality in areas outside of northern Spain's Rioja wine region. During the last decade, growers as far as Australia and South Africa have started significant Tempranillo plantations, but there is still only one place in the world that is perfect for growing the grape. At the limits of viticulture is La Rioja, Spain's most prominent wine region where it is very difficult for grapes to fully ripen. Mountain ranges surround Rioja, and the Ebro River flows through like a smooth, slow-moving snake. Tempranillo is Rioja's lifeblood, and the weather and soil is perfect for Tempranillo. Rioja is home to 3 distinct climate types. The northwest winds bring cool, moist weather from the Atlantic Ocean that is very important to the ripening of Tempranillo because the grape has a problem with high temperatures. Central vineyards are exposed to the continental influences from the south that will bring cool winters and hot summers. Eastern winds are influenced by the warm weather of the Mediterranean. Rioja has one of the most accomplished geologies. The mountain ranges give the region its unique soils that are rich in limestone and calcium, and soils with high levels of calcium are always associated with wines of high quality. The mountains around Rioja form an inverted V, with the widest part exposed mainly to the warm Mediterranean and the narrowest part benefiting from the cool Atlantic. Rioja also benefits from a lower elevation than surrounding northern provinces in Spain, and the mountains provide an added protective barrier in keeping out the extreme cold conditions from the north. The differences in climate and soil help distinguish Rioja's 3 distinct subzones: Rioja Alta, Rioja Alavesa, Rioja Baja. Rioja Alta has the highest elevation and mostly Atlantic weather and soil consisting of alluvial deposits and clay enriched with iron and limestone. Rioja Alavesa is the smallest subzone, with a Mediterranean-dominated climate and limestone clay soils. Rioja Baja is the warmest and driest, with a mostly Mediterranean weather and sandy limestone soils. These 3 subzones make up the wine region known as DOCA Rioja. As little as 10 to 15 kilometers beyond the region, grapes will not ripen. Traditionally, Rioja wines have been made with a blend of grapes from all 3 subzones, with the highest percentage of grapes coming from the subzone with the highest quality harvest. Tempranillo wines are a deep ruby red color. The grape yields plummy blackberry flavors with undertones of herbs, vanilla, and leather. Aromas of cherries, red currants, and tobacco are also possible. The type and duration of oak is critical. Used barrels are preferred to allow the oak to impart earthy complexities without overwhelming the fruit and acidity. The quality of the grape is very climate dependent. Hot sunny days will produce grapes with a high sugar content, and thick skins rich in tannins and complex flavonoids. However, it is the cooler nights that give the grape its lower acidity and sensory subtleties. Tempranillo is blessed with being an extremely food-friendly wine. It pairs well with vegetable entrees, such as roasted red stuffed peppers, and its earthy quality goes well with mushrooms. Tempranillo is an ideal accompaniment to tender cuts of meat and game, especially those prepared with fruity marinades and side dishes. Buttery cheeses also pair well, as do hard cheeses. Tempranillo is a well-structured wine that can be consumed early, but may also be aged in oak barrels for several years. Tempranillo wines follow an age classification system. Oven wines are the least expensive and will see little or no oak. They are meant to be released right away and are very popular throughout the tapas bars in Spain, costing $1 a glass. Crianza wines are a wine with breeding. They are everyday drinking wines aged for 6 months in oak barrels and released after the 3rd year. Reservas are a more serious wine. They spend a little bit more time in the bottle and generally more time in oak, and would be appropriate for a sit-down dinner party. Grand Reservas are first quality wines, made in special vintages, and spend the most time in oak and the bottle. Aging time is a minimum of 3 years in oak barrels, followed by 2 years in the bottle. They are also the most expensive, and are typically brought out during special occasions when you want to impress someone. Tempranillo has the capability of being made as a standalone varietal, but its naturally low acidity lead most Spanish winemakers to blend it with other varietals to produce full-bodied red wines. This practice evolved to help maintain the wine's body during aging, which in Spain can last as long as 25 years in barrels. Other than adjusting the pH, not much else is needed to correct this otherwise perfect grape. Tempranillo is most commonly blended with Grenache, known in Spain as Garnacha, Carignan, known in Spain as Mesuelo, Graciano, Merlot, and Cabernet Sauvignon. Garnacha gives strength and warmth to blends. Mesuelo contributes tannins and acidity. Graciano adds aroma and stabilizes the color. Its acidity and tannins help the wines age with grace. Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon blends add a deep fruity taste. It is a common misconception that Tempranillo can only be a red wine, but the varietal can actually produce white wine. In 1988, a cluster of white grapes were discovered in Rioja with yellow-green skins that were DNA tested and confirmed to be Tempranillo. The first varietal was bottled in 2005, and now at least 3 wineries in the region are producing the wine, with others taking interest. Another common misconception is that Pinot Noir is a relative of Tempranillo. Tempranillo-based reds do share some similarities to Pinot Noir, such as a soft, finesse texture. But Tempranillo wines almost never have as high of a natural acidity that you will find in warmer climate-grown Pinot Noir. Also, there is little relation between the peppermint spice red berry, strawberry perfume typical of Pinot Noir, and the blacker berry fruit qualities tinged with notes of licorice, tobacco leaf, smoked meats, and snapping leather common to red wines made from Tempranillo. Tempranillo wines come from all around the world, but the best quality and value will be from Spain. A bottle of Campo Viejo will have identifiable Rioja character and deliver remarkable quality for as little as $8. The vast majority of Tempranillo bottles can be bought for under $300, but Grand Reservas may run upwards of $1,000 in restaurants. The most well-known wineries can be found in La Rioja, where the proven ideas of the past are being blended with newfound knowledge. R. Lopez de Heredia Vina Tondonia
is the most traditional winery in Rioja, where the philosophy is that there is no reason to change the ways of the past, as that would be a sign of disrespect. Walking into this winery will make you feel as if you step back in time. You won't find stainless steel or polished floors, but you will see lots of cobwebs that actually provide the benefit of keeping the spider mites away. One of the most respected wineries in La Rioja is Marqués de Riscal, located in an area known as the City of Wine. Built as a Bordeaux-style winery, Marqués de Riscal brought French equipment and know-how to Rioja in the 19th century, and it was the first winery in Rioja designed exclusively for barrel aging. Resting on top the 19th century cellars is the innovative and ambitious winery designed by Canadian architect Frank Gehry that serves as a fitting reminder of Rioja's full-scale leap into the future.
Tempranillo is usually blended with Grenache, Carignan, Graciano, Merlot, and more recently Cabernet Sauvignon. Sometimes Tempranillo is its own varietal, but its low acidity and sugar content may lead to a rather boring wine in comparison to the fruit-forward taste that comes from adding Grenache. Tempranillo is not always a red wine, as vineyards in Spain are beginning to experiment with the recently discovered white Tempranillo grape.